Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the feature race at Woodbine on Wednesday evening. Race number 7, the $100,000 Eternal Search Stakes. We're going 1.1 miles on the inner turf for fillies and mares. Before we get started with the analysis, a brief word for our friends in the Ontario area. If you can't make it to the track, Champions Off Track Betting has over 50 locations across Ontario, and it brings the excitement of horse racing closer to home. Visit today the best thoroughbred and standardbred racing from tracks around the world right in your own neighborhood. Here's the field for the Eternal Search Stakes, again carded as race number 7. We'll begin with the number 1, She's the Berries, the morning line favorite at 2-1 for Patrick Husbands and Mark Casse. I like the trip this filly got in her seasonal debut over the Tapeta surface to score. Last time out, had a little bit of traffic issues. The 7th finishers from that race came back to run 3rd in the Grade 3 Ontario Matron on synth with an 83 buyer. So a live race against good horses. The issue is, can she run on turf? She's only tried it once in her career. It was a disaster sprinting last summer.
I mean, she didn't run well in her only turf start, but that was sprinting. It seems like she's a much better horse going longer, Dan. I'm not ready to write her off as a horse who can't handle turf yet. She's 2-1 on the morning line, which doesn't thrill me, but I think she's the horse to beat here.
Conversely, the 4 Red Cabernet, the second choice at 5-2, seems equally adept on synthetic and turf. I really liked her overskate race last year on October the 27th against the boys. She didn't break very well. She was buried down inside. She angled 4 wide, and she ran second ahead of a couple of next out winners. Now, last time out in the Zadra she didn't break. She tried to get into the pocket. She got shuffled back, but I thought she only finished evenly. Maybe she's a mare that at this point in her career just doesn't like any cut in the ground.
Yeah, it could be that. Her last 2 races are not great performances. So we'll see if she can turn it around a little bit, because she has plenty of races, especially from last year, that are just going to make her, really, really tough in this race. I didn't pick her on top in this race, but I would use her in any bets that I make, I think.
Big price formulator fact for the number 5, Without a Doubt. For trainer Ralph Biamonte, you see 38% winners, a positive return on investment over the past few years, with turf runners going 3rd off the layoff. Plus, as we see from the Timeform US Pace Projector, Without a Doubt is expected to make the early lead. So there are some positives for Without a Doubt. It's just very interesting to me that in her 18th lifetime start, this will be her first race around 2 turns. I think there are some distance concerns.
Yeah, that's the concern with her, but you're right. She's got a formulator fact in her corner. She's a big price in this race. If you like her and you think she can stretch out, you're probably supposed to use her because she's going to be a big price.
Piper's Legacy is a very lightly raced 5-year-old who seems to be coming to hand right now for a red-hot trainer. She has won 3 out of her last 4 races, is a perfect 2-for-2 on turf, and has some tactical speed. She's just a little bit slow on those Beyer speed figures.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if she can finally run a fast race, because so far I think she's run well in all of her starts. Obviously, you don't worry about surface or distance with her. It's just a question of whether you think she classes up and can she take a step forward as a 5-year-old.
We talked about whether She's the Berries, the number 1, is adept on turf. The 6 Crumlin Queen has yet to hit the board from 6 turf starts. She has done some nice work on the main track at Woodbine. She's banked over $250,000 in her career, but I wonder if she's kind of plateaued in that low 70 buyer range in her 5-year-old season, and turf is a question mark.
Turf is a question. I think class is a little bit of a question, so I'm not sure that she's truly a stakes horse, especially on this surface.
Silent Respect is the number 2. We'll talk about her next. This is a filly who last time out just didn't break. The runner-up came back to run 2nd in the Grade 2 Royal North with a 90 buyer speed figure. Throw that race out and you're left with a couple of wins sprinting. I think she can be a little bit more forwardly placed than where Timeform US has her. The question here is distance.
Yeah, she's another horse, so I think you really worry about how far she wants to go. And another one, I think you worry about whether she's a stakes horse. And she has a lot of improving to do.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the 7th race at Woodbine, the Eternal Search Stakes. Mike, you like the number 3 Zestina in here, and she's one of several coming out of the Zadra. She just seems a little bit better on turf. In her first 2 starts at synthetic, I wonder if they were just warm-ups to get her ready for the summer turf racing season here at Woodbine. Last time out, she was pressing the pace in and among horses. I thought she was pretty game to finish 3rd.
I did too. I thought she ran well last time. I'm with you that I don't think she's quite as good on synthetic. I really like her turf form, though. I guess the biggest question I have for her, Dan, is the distance. She won over a mile last September in the Damsel. That was a race where boy, it looked like she was beat mid-stretch in there. I liked the way that she battled on in that race, but I still felt like maybe the distance was getting to her a little bit in that race. I like her form overall. I think she'll get a good trip in this race, though. And if she runs her best race, I think this is a field she can beat at a square price.
I went with the 8 Miss C, and this is a mare that came off of a very long layoff in the Zadra card. It finished ahead of a couple of these, working out an in-out trip. She had to swing 5 wide into the straight. She stayed on. I liked how she galloped out. This is the same sprint to route pattern, second off the layoff, that resulted in a 19-1 score at Woodbine last year. She's won second off the layoff back in 2015. I think she's going to be a lot sharper with that last race under her girth, and the distance is not too much of an issue for me.
Yeah, distance is fine for her. I agree with you. I thought she ran really well last time.
All right, give me numbers.
I went 3-1-4. Just Zendina over the 2 favorites.
I went 8-3-4 in race number 7, the Eternal Search Stakes. It is your feature race at Woodbine on Wednesday night, and has an approximate post of 9:48 Eastern. Best of luck.